So I wanted to show you guys the actual chest tube Atrium in a package. I'm going to open this up. And it comes in a blue sterile wrap. So you're going to want to undo the tape, and then you're going to open it the same way as you would open a sterile dressing tray. So you're going to unfold away from you and open those and open this. Now this can be grabbed by someone who has sterile gloves or is sterile if they're using it in the OR. It showed that on one of the videos. We're going to pretend that we're just setting it up because the patient's atrium is full, so I can just grab it with my bare hands, okay? So it's going to come with a tube in the back. I want to keep this tube sterile because that's going to attach to the patient. So I'm going to hold that right away out, and we're going to just stand it up on the little stand. So that we can deal with that later, but that end is staying sterile. Okay, so now on the back, we'll zoom in here. There is a vial of sterile water, which you just remove. And we're going to fill up our water seal chamber. Okay, so what has happened will be that this whole collection area here, all the way up to 2100 milliliters, is full. So it'll be full of fluid from the patient, and I need to change this system out. So I would have to clamp my chest tube with my metal clamps in 2 places up near the patient before I change this over. But I just want to show you the system. So I'm going to take the tip off of that. And if you look down here, you just squeeze, and there's the exact amount of water that will fill that up to the 2 centimeter line. And it just dyes it blue so that you can see it. So right in here, it should come right up to that line when it's level. So you can look at the chest tube system. We've got all the measuring all the way up, and then this is our water seal. I want to check that it's at the 2 centimeter line. Generally only if the patient has been on it for more than, say, 5 to 7 days will this start to evaporate out that you actually need to add more. Most of the patients, if they're only on it for 3 or 4 days, generally that will stay in there. This is the little bubble that will, the white ball that should fluctuate up and down, that tells the change in the pleural pressure intrathoracically when the patient inhales and exhales. So you should see a little bit of that if the patient is on suction. If they're on gravity, which is the same thing as on water seal, so they're not hooked up to any external suction on the wall, often you won't see that move. Okay, so we just look in there for titling or fluctuating. Generally, they come and they're set at -20 here. If you want to change it, you just change it on the side. So 10. Most patients are on 20. I've seen a couple patients go up to -40 when we get a air leak in them that they just can't seem to resolve. So they'll put it up to the 40 centimeters of suction. Okay, so we'll leave it at 20. And then the same place where you filled it with water is where your suction tubing from the wall suction would attach onto there. So you would adjust your wall suction to around -80, but it's not a specific amount because you want to watch in here that this orange bubble lines up with the arrow. Okay, if they're not on gravity, it will look like that. If they are on gravity, that should line up with the little arrow there. I just want to show you. So this is attached to the patient, so in their chest, and the blood or pleural fluid or whatever is coming out will come into this chamber. Every shift we're going to mark how much fluid has drained out. So it's going to start on this side here, and say at the end of my shift I have 40 milliliters. I'm just going to draw an actual line here, and I'm gonna write the date. So we're gonna say it's September 14th, and it's 1800. It's the end of my shift. Okay, so maybe through the night, they have another 40, and they're up to 80. So now we can put September 15th, and it's 06 in the morning. So now I come on to my shift, and I want to make sure that it's been marked at the level. So this will all be filled up with blood, or your yellowish kind of pleural fluid. I want to see where it started, make sure it got marked, so that during my shift I can tell how much it has drained out. So maybe I look when I see the patient at 7:30 in the morning, and it's maybe, you know, up here because I've had a little bit more. Then when I go back and do my assessment, like it's up to 200, that would be a significant amount. So say in an hour and a half I had 100 mils, and it's different from sort of what I've been having so far. I'm gonna mark that and say, okay, at 8 o'clock they'd had like an extra 110. Okay, then I come back at 8:30, and you know, I'm way up to here. I'm gonna phone the physician, okay, because they've had a significant amount of bleeding. So you can mark it at whatever times you want, but you need to check it at the end of your shift. So if I was working the night shift here and I went from 40 to 80, my total would only be this amount. So I would chart 40. So on my shift today, I started at 80, and maybe at the end of 6 o'clock p.m. or 1500, I'm at 500. So I would subtract 500 from 80. So my total amount for that shift would be 420. Not everything, because this could be several days worth. Okay, so that's how you're going to chart on your in and out sheet. So that's about it. It's basically all I wanted to show you.